Hey everyone, happy Monday. Happy Monday. First things first, you already know, go ahead and make sure that if you have not signed the petition, go ahead and do so. That's at change.org/Shanquella, change.org/Shanquella. Let's see how many signatures. Okay, somebody is being crazy with it. Okay, we're at 36,788 signatures. That's 36,788 signatures. So if you have not signed the petition, make sure you go ahead and sign it. Good morning. Let's see who's here. Good morning, Mary, Red Lipstick Hustler, Gwen, Tyke, Mary. Hey, Sharon. Regina. Hey. Kimberly. We have Deborah. And good morning, Dukes, my mom, Dukes. Guys, make sure you go ahead and hit the like button on your way in. Good morning, Sylvia. And hey, Mac. Genuine Woman. And KCM card. Okay, so basically, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, people keep on saying that Dr. Karolina Ornelas is a nurse. I've made several videos actually showing you how to find this information. And she's actually a doctor, okay? So basically what I'm noticing is that there are a lot of new people or people that did not watch previous videos. And also what I noticed was that my previous video on Dr. Ornelas was on a different subject. And I did not have that information or her credentials. However, in other videos, I actually show her credentials, but the videos were not titled with her name. It didn't have her name in the title or anything like that. So people might not have watched the video if they were looking for Dr. Ornelas. Basically, now I have a new title. It says Dr. Karolina Ornelas is not a nurse. Okay, so she's not a nurse. She's a doctor. That's why I put Dr. Karolina. And also the second topic is there's no official Maid receipt or statement. Okay, that is just hearsay. It's not in the unofficial police report that was released. Most likely when something comes out, it's going to be a Maid statement, and that's only for the investigation and in the investigation file or folder in an ongoing investigation. That's not something that was ever released. So since it was never released and we don't have the document of her official statement, it's just hearsay. Okay. And since we don't have the document, we can't actually see the exact wording we cannot see the exact wording that was used, the exact verbiage and everything else to base that off of. A lot of people are basing stuff off of hearsay. Okay. So I'm going to show the unofficial police report, and also I'm going to show how you can verify if someone is a licensed medical professional in Mexico. Okay, just like in the United States, y'all don't think that they have this in Mexico where you can actually search and see if someone is a real doctor. Not only is that safe for the public, but I mean, it's always a database that has who is a doctor, who isn't, to verify license, because people want to make sure that when someone comes out and does a certain job or is working in a certain profession, that people are able to verify that person's licensure and credentials for their safety. We don't want people operating like as a doctor and they're not licensed. Okay, so you can verify someone as a lawyer in United States and other places as well. And you can also verify if someone is an actual doctor. Good morning, Leah. Good morning, Monica. Do the right thing. Teresa, Audrey, Jacqueline. I'm good, and you? Okay. It's asking me to join. I thought I was already joined. This is the second channel, so I have two channels. So maybe you're joined on the main channel. The Maid likely wants no part of this and quit immediately. I doubt it. That maid has been a maid for a long time, so she wouldn't quit. But now, if is she gonna make a statement to me, or maybe not? But I mean, she did make a statement to the police already, but that statement has not been released to the public. Gerardo Zuniga actually mentioned what the maid allegedly said, but he didn't actually post a document or proof or receipt of it. But even though people still are using that as like a verified information, but we don't have verified information of her statement. So once we actually see like official document of her statement, then we can say, hey, this is what the maid said. But that has not, it's only hearsay. So when people come to me and say, well, the maid said what the maid said, show me documentation or receipt, official statement from the maid. It's not in the police report. Okay. Now it might be in the file for the investigation, like after the police report was done, and then they open an investigation. Obviously, they will. They did then take a statement from the maid and everyone else, but that information has not been released because it's an ongoing investigation. Now, if someone like Gerardo was given hearsay, and someone said the maid said this, the maid said that, that's hearsay, and then it can be lost in translation. If anybody knows anything about a translator or lost in translation, that means that someone can use a certain term or word in Mexico, and then when it's translated to English, you have to make sure it's exact and precise exactly what you're intending to say. And you can find this out easily. All you have to do is go use a Google Translator, type in something, and you'll see that sometimes the words can be, what can I say, twisted or changed, and then that one slight change in wording can actually change the complete sentence and the complete meaning. Okay. I hope they get on more of the ball with interviewing people. For the most part, they have already interviewed most people. I already heard from Ivan that they've already interviewed the maid, the chef, and everybody involved, like in Mexico. And as far as the United States, they have already interviewed the Cabo Six. So they pretty much have already done like interviews. I'm not saying that there won't be any more, but they've already gotten statements. Now, those statements have not been released because obviously that's an ongoing investigation. They're not going to release those statements. Now, if someone has connections or insider information, like sometimes Gerardo does, they might have hearsay, but the hearsay is not always 100% like the truth. So that's why I said I'm not going to go by just hearsay. That's hearsay. It's not in any documentation or proof. So there's no way to verify if it's accurate. Now, when the unofficial police report was released, there was a way to verify the information. And the reason I can verify is because I actually looked up all the people in the police report, and I saw that those people were real and that they really had the same occupation that was listed and things like that. So then that's the way I verify it. However, someone says the maid said this, and we don't have the actual maid saying, yes, this is correct, or we don't have the actual document of her saying it, then we don't know. And to be honest, I'm actually the first one to actually mention the maid Lucy. And I said her typical time is coming around the afternoon. And that was based on like me looking at receipts and reviews from Cabo Villas along with my mod, Unbothered. So we found the information, and that's when I reached out to Rado and said, what about the maid Lucy? She typically comes at afternoon. Can you ask questions about this? Okay. And then next thing I know, it comes out something about a maid Lucy and all this other stuff, but there's no documentation. And my information came from just reviews. And that's still not official. Okay. So I said, there's nothing official about the maid. That's just, it came from hearsay. Now, is there a maid? Yes, because the maid was questioned. But do we have the maid statement? No, we don't. What we heard is just hearsay. Good morning, Lisa. Okay, so that's, make sure the petition is at change.org for Shanquella. That's change.org for Shanquella. And let's go here. Good morning, Bella, and good morning about that 50 plus life. Okay, in Mexico, they also have a database where you can check to see if someone is a licensed medical professional. A licensed medical professional. You can check their credentials. Okay, their certifications. So as you can see, it says National Registry of Professionals. Consultation of professional certificates. I already have this translated. The purpose of this section is to broaden the search criteria for professionals who register their degrees and have a professional license with patent effects. This delimits the responsibility of the National Registry of Professionals by defining it as the only valid instance to make use of this information. Okay. And this is for transparency. It says the information published on this site, according to the criteria ordered by the National Institute of Transparency, access to information and protection of personal data, is public and constantly updated. This determines that the Ministry of Public Education is disassociated and is not responsible for the use, adaptations, and modalities of the information that may appear on other websites. So that's just saying, like, they're not responsible if someone takes or uses information for whatever purpose. This is just posted for transparency. And just like any other database, you will search up the person's first and last name to verify if they're a licensed medical professional. We have this in the United States we have it for doctors to see if they're a real doctor. We have it for lawyers to see if they pass the bar. Most places will have that. And Mexico is no exception. They have a database. So in this database, like I said before, we was type in Karolina. That's her name, Karolina. Now, I purposely put this in the title because if anyone says nurse, we can just refer them to this video with this title. It's easy to find. My other video might not be easy to find on this topic, but I've already talked about this topic maybe quite a few times. But I noticed the title might be hard to find. Okay, so once you click search, you actually see the second person, which is Karolina Beatrix Ornelas Gutierrez. Karolina Beatrix Ornelas Gutierrez, and it says her license number for her medical license is 1205659. This is official database. It's not nothing Dr. Ruff. I'm actually live checking this out and showing you how to search this information. I'll also post a link in the chat. So this is official information. It's nothing doctor, not a fake receipt or anything. People will say she is a real doctor. So that's how you can search this database, okay? And I have actually posted this database before. So it says that's her ID number, 1205659. Name, Karolina Beatrix Ornelas Gutierrez. Of course, we already know her gender is woman. It says profession, bachelor's degree as a surgeon and midwife, okay? And once they have this, they actually have to do other credentials, take on other credentials as well. So other certifications. I also had a medical examiner on my channel, and he actually confirmed and verified that she is licensed as a surgeon and midwife. Okay, so people say, oh, she's just a midwife. You left out the part of being a surgeon. She went to medical school, okay? She has a lot of credentials, okay? But she's actually still a new doctor because she only finished all her credentials in 2020, and Shanquella Robinson was murdered in 2022. So by the time this all happened, to be honest, she only had about a year and a half of experience. A year and a half of experience, like working at American Medical Center. So this was actually a new doctor. And do y'all know that atlas luxation is not, it's not like something that happens like a lot, where someone would see this a lot in the emergency room. Atlas luxation, internal decapitation. It doesn't happen a lot. So the chances of her and a year and a half of her experience of actually meeting a patient with this condition is extremely rare. So this is a new doctor. And what I'm noticing is that there's a new doctor, and also there was a new person from the Office of Public Ministry that he was also new. The person he had to reach out to the public ministry after this happened, he was also new, like fresh out. So there was a lot of new people handling this, should I say. So she's a surgeon, and a surgeon is a doctor. And this is also translated, by the way. And keep in mind that a bachelor's degree is something different in the United States and Mexico, okay? But she's a surgeon and midwife. So once they finish their bachelor's degree, they have to have other certifications as well, kind of like United States. But she's a licensed doctor. I also had a person on my channel, Dr. Horacio, right? And I'll actually search him up. Hold on. So she's a surgeon. So keep that in mind. Don't say, oh, she's just a nurse. Nah, you have to actually add in that she's a surgeon. Sir, a surgeon is not a nurse. Okay. And typically, most likely, he probably only called her that, to be honest, Nazir, is because of how she was dressed when she came out. And to be honest, like sexism in the world does exist, right? I mean, a woman dressed with her nurse, like typical nurse's uniform with a badge, people might automatically assume, oh, that's a nurse because it's a woman wearing that outfit, right? But she's actually a doctor, a surgeon, but she was actually fresh out of school. Okay, that it was just translated again. Wait. What was his name again? I actually forgot his last name, to be honest. I think it was Horacio Cervantes. Well, anyways, that's I just posted that information. I was just gonna try to look up another doctor to show you more information, but I think I forgot his last name. I don't have it with me. But he was a medical examiner on my channel. Yeah, I don't have his information with me. But anyways, that's she's a surgeon. So anyone that still wants to say she's a nurse, then that everyone can believe what they want to believe. But I go by just facts of what's in the database. She's actually a surgeon and a midwife. Okay. Okay. So let me go here. Okay, so basically, so I posted a link in the chat. You'll be able to search the database. Right here, this is the official database to check to see if someone's a licensed medical professional in Mexico. You just search her first name of Karolina, then last name Ornelas. Okay. And we have to keep in mind that we have to make sure that just because as a woman and she makes house calls. So when you make house calls, you're going to someone's house. Okay. So Carolina Beatriz Ornelas Gutierrez, it has her license information at the top, her license. Like if someone, even in the United States, we have that. We want to report someone's license. It says degree as a surgeon and midwife. So she's a surgeon and midwife. Once they finish their bachelor's degree, as explained by the forensic medical examiner, they have to take additional classes and have additional credentials to get their specialty. So she, once she finished that, her bachelor's degree in medicine, she went on to get complete her credentials as a surgeon and midwife. So that's what she's qualified to do in Mexico, to be a surgeon and midwife. And she finished her qualifications in 2020. And she went to the University of Guadalajara. Okay. So that clarifies. The doctor that came out is actually a real doctor. Now, I'm going to show you some pictures of how she typically dresses and looks. This is when she came out to the villa, Linda 32 in Cabo. She's wearing like the headscarf with the uniform, purplish looking uniform top. You can actually kind of see her a little bit. You can see her badge hanging down the right hand side, or it might be pockets. I don't know. I can't really see. You can actually make out that she's wearing glasses, and then of course the headscarf, and that she's a brunette, and also that she's kind of like she's slim and petite. And then of course people have like disputed whether that's Shanquella or not. But if you actually know anything about body anatomy, if you have like what you call it? If you have on some booty back there, when you lay down on your back, your butt is gonna expand or spread out, right? But on top of that, this is probably, to be honest, after a lot of rounds of CPR and everything else been done to her, and that probably the all the rounds of CPR probably put a lot of air into her system. That's probably why it led to her bloating. But despite all that, if you actually look at this picture, this is not a good picture. Wait, that's not a good one. Wait, let me go down. Right here, this one I was talking about yesterday is by body comparisons. If you look at Mavi, the paramedic standing up, that's actually a woman, and I already know where she works at and everything else. I mean, like, I already contacted the receptionist and talk about the picture. So Mavi already knows that her picture is on here, and she already knows about it. But she's not talking. So Mavi is the one standing up, like the paramedic, that's like heavier set and looking down. Okay. If you actually look at her body size and then look at Shanquella, you'll realize that Shanquella is actually small, obviously smaller than Mavi, like her body. Look at the body size. And if you actually look at Mavi's partner that usually goes out with her, the one that's kneeling down, I actually do I have a picture of him still? I don't know. Standing up, but he's actually that's the one kneeling down. If you actually look at his body size and then look at Shanquella, like make comparisons between those two bodies, he's even bigger. Like even like compare, he's bigger than Shanquella. And if you actually look at the size of Mavi and then her partner, you'll see that the partner actually looks way small compared to Mavi, right? He looks small compared to how Mavi size is. So then you'll see that Mavi is like the bigger person in the picture, and then the paramedic is the second biggest person, and then it looks like Shanquella will be third, and then the doctor would be last. But the doctor and Shanquella are more aligned as size comparisons compared to everybody else in the room. So that's why sometimes you have to look not at only Shanquella, but compare her body to everybody in the room, and then compare everybody else's body proportions and frame to each other. And then you'll be able to place her exact size, okay, in the picture. And from there, we will actually need a medical examiner to explain body decomposition and how much trauma or what can happen to the body once the doctor is doing, what you call it, all those rounds of CPR and everything she's doing to the body. Okay, so that's that. But yeah, this is another one, but I just took off the watermark right here. Like give a better view of everybody. Hey, Shank. Hey. Salute to Shank Brock. Okay, thank you, Linda, so much for the super sticker. Yes, Auntie, yes. Showing me love early in the morning. All right, thank you, Linda. I appreciate it, girl. Okay, so everyone else, you can support the channel by just hitting the like button. Okay, let's scroll down. Okay, these were just going over the other pictures. I'm not going over that again today. So let me go ahead and show you some pictures of she is a real doctor. This is her glasses. This is like her body frame or whatever. As you can see, like her, well, this is just the everyday. But like this is what her typical look is, like glasses, like hair pinned, with like maybe a nurse's type uniform. She doesn't wear like the white coat. Like most people say, oh, a doctor will have a white coat. Well, but she makes her calls. She doesn't, she dresses like this. And this is actually more of the look she has in that picture, the scarf, the glasses. She wasn't wearing a mask at that time. And most likely it's probably because of CPR, doing CPR and things like that. Probably, obviously, how can you do CPR with a mask on? Then she also has the badge on the right-hand side. But and then she also look at the purplish kind of uniform top. This is kind of how the look she came out, but her hair is more pinned a little bit more with the scarf, right? And again, this is how she's dressed again. Glasses. I can't see her hair, but it's kind of tied a little bit with something. And then, of course, look at the uniform. It's not like a typical, what you would expect, a doctor, like a white coat. She's wearing like this, right? And then if you actually want to see her body size, right? This is a good picture. This is her husband, right? And this is her standing behind him. This is her real body size. So when you think about the picture, Shanquella is if you actually look at other pictures of Shanquella, like when she like is thicker, and then she has like before, not the skinnier pictures when she was younger, but when she's older now with some booty and some thighs and then more thicker, okay? She's bigger than this doctor. She's bigger than this doctor right here. Okay. Now don't go by no pictures when she's smaller, and then at that time when she was smaller, and those pictures some people posting, she doesn't have any like booty and she doesn't have like thighs, like like thicker thighs. She's obviously younger. Okay, compare her to the new person, like with thicker and then with the more curves. Okay, but she's bigger than the doctor right here, standing up. Okay, so think about Shanquella standing up and the doctor standing up. She's bigger than the doctor, but she's smaller than Mavi and the other paramedic. So that's why you have to make sure that you look at body comparisons in pictures. And speaking of body comparisons and proportions, if you actually look at how small look at the size of her husband. You see how he's small. He looks like a teenager body with a grown man face. A teenage body with an old grown man face, right? So he's small and petite, and look, and then see her. Okay, so that's why I said look at the body proportions of everybody. Now, is Shanquella probably bigger than both of these two people right here as far as curves and her new body size? I would say yes. So they make sense in the picture that Mavi would be the bigger person, her partner kneeling down would be second, and then Shanquella third, and then the doctor. And that's how the pictures match up on that. Even with the bloating and extension. This is doctor with her dog. Okay, now as far as the unofficial police report, it was posted by Gerardo Zuniga. And I say unofficial police report because it's not the official document. He clearly has an inside connection to be able to get this information, or he was able to get it. Now, it actually does at the top. It has like a case number or information of like the file number. Oh, I actually need to look this up, to be honest. I just need to pay attention to the format. SJC 3063 2022, and you see, I actually probably need to look and see if something is attached to that. But yeah, that's the side note. But anyway, this is information. As you can see, it says, let me zoom in a little bit. It says the doctor that came out was Dr. Karolina Beatrice Ornelas Gutierrez, and it says she was working at American Medical Center. This was already confirmed, and it's saying that now that she's no longer working there, but this was confirmed that she was a doctor at that place. And when you called at that time, you would say doctor, that is who she was, not a nurse. Suni Popoko Milan. I think I found that person, but that person is actually working at like, I think I think I found him, but I think I never tried to reach out to him. To be honest, I think I found him, but I didn't actually reach out to him yet, if you know what I mean. But he's someone that they call at the end, like they call to tell what happened or whatever, and then from there they have to report like what happens to the public ministry. Okay. And then right here it has, so that person does exist. I'm saying that person does exist. He's real. And then there's where is it? The paramedics that work at the Mexican Red Cross. It said Mavi Jordan Garciano. She does exist. I spoke to the receptionist where she works, and that receptionist said, yes, Mavi knows about the picture, and they already knew why I was calling, and Mavi already knew about the picture because I messaged her on Facebook, but she didn't accept my request, but she still looked. You already know you can send something to somebody and they can still see it, but they don't have to like accept it. Okay, so anyway, she already knows about her picture being online. I said, do you know about your picture being online by Gerardo Zuniga? And they said, yes, they know about the picture and they synced it. And they also know about me, because if you don't know, a lot of people start knowing about who I am and everything else about my channel. people over there in Mexico. Yeah, so basically that's how I knew that the police report was, even though this is unofficial and Gerardo got this information, I found all the people, not all the people, but most of the people on that list, right? And they are aware of all this whole thing. So that's why I said I do appreciate him posting this, because that's how I was able to get the names of people. Without him posting it, I would not have been able to get the names of some people involved. Oh, so it wasn't Suni. Oh, I knew it. So it wasn't Suni Popoco, which I think is a police officer. I didn't find him. I found this person right here. So correct that. The person I found was Julio Daniel Colson Kimono. He's at the public ministry, and that's who they call it. So he does exist, and I also have his picture, and I posted his picture. So that's the person I found. So it's like the 2 paramedics I found, plus the doctor I found, and then Julio Daniel. So I found most of the people in this report. And then that's the ticket that says ticket number. So it's actually a file there with that ticket number, and you see there's another number there, and that's how they have their file formats in their databases. So even though I call it an unofficial police report because it's not the exact document that, but he actually was able to take pictures of it or get the information from it. And it's actually what was put out. But yeah, and I don't have time to go through this whole police report because I came on here just to post this. But I'm gonna scroll through. No maid is actually mentioned in this this report. We already know what the report stated, and no time they talked about Winter calling 911. It never mentioned anything about a maid and what the maid said. That's just here. It was hearsay. It was never actually official documents put out or any real statement put out. That's why I said we cannot talk about what the maid said until we actually see. Now this is what I translated, because to be honest, it's like the whole document was in Spanish. So I used a converter and I tried to convert it to English. Okay, and then throughout the whole thing, there's no mention of a maid. Now, was the maid questioned? Yes, but we don't have access to that information because it's a ongoing investigation. There was a statement that was taken from her during the investigation. We don't have access to that information. Now, is it possible that he heard like hearsay about what was in the report? Yes, but the words can get lost in translation about exactly what was said because it's hearsay. Once you say one thing to somebody else, have you played the game telephone? Once you say something in one person's ear and they keep spreading around, then it can get lost in translation what the actual words were stated. Now, I do believe that the maid found her in the condition maybe of atlas luxation, and she described her body as best as she could, but we need the actual maid statement of how she described the body. We don't need hearsay about what the maid said. Let's see. It's interviewing with this, talking to the doctor. It mentions Winter, it mentions the paramedics. It does not mention anything about the maid. Now this is the Espanol. This is the Espanol, and this is like the report timeline. And at the bottom right there, you see it says Ministry of Public, and that's Julio Daniel Colson, right? That's the one I found recently. And then right there at the bottom, of course, we have Winter Donovan. And this is Julio Coatsing, the one that from the public ministry they contacted. He was actually new too. He's actually new, like in his position as a lawyer. They called after the incident occurred. They called him, I guess, to let him inform him of American dying. So I actually have not contacted him yet. I think I sent an email, but I never tried to call yet to see what his statement is. But I think I did add him to the petition. But as you can see, it says Julio Daniel Cosin Carmona. It was like some kind of congratulations for him, that it was just recent. A recent congratulations for him getting his law degree or finishing up with everything. So let me go back up. The thing is, once you translate this with the document images, it can kind of blur out some of the words. What I mean is, like, it's not as clear, so that's annoying to read something that's not clear. Now, if I could actually read Espanol, the original version is more clear. See right here, it's more clear. This is clear text. But once I tried to convert it to English, that's when it got to a mess. If I could read Spanish, I would hurry and read this. But right here, this is a mess. Hold on, where is it? So basically, it's right here just talking about the general practitioner who stopped, feels his pulse and began maneuver. See, like I said before, they did try to check for pulse. That's like obviously what someone would do is check for pulse and breathing. And usually you can always hear, like, when someone's breathing, like you just hear them breathing, or you can like at least see their chest rising up and down. And also they said to mention that Nazir helped with CPR, right? So if he helped with CPR, that means he already knew about how to do CPR, took some kind of course before on CPR, knowledge of it. So he also would know how to check pulse or see someone's breathing, right? It says 14 CPR sessions, 5 doses of adrenaline, and 6 downloads without having success. I might actually put this through a different translator, but basically I'm just saying throughout this whole report, there's no mention of a maid. And as far as Julio, it says they called him to let him know about Shanquella and what happened, to which we proceed to tell him the facts before mentioned, by what he instructs the and basically get instructions on what to do next. But I did scroll. I'm scrolling through, so you'll see there's no mention of a maid. It says, I declare to us that at 13 hours, requested the service of consultation for the Miss Shanquella Brenda Robinson already, who remarked to him that that she drank a lot of alcohol and they did something with serum. Anyway, I need to actually go ahead and translate this again. But we already know what everyone has already went over the police report a million times. I might just pull up a news article. But the news article gave us like a timeline, but the news articles didn't like plagiarize and give like every detail. You know what I mean? Dehydrated advised you to her friends who would transfer her to a hospital, but her friends, they insisted that she was attended to and the place proceed. They continued on without success. At 16-20 hours, presented a tonic-clonic seizure, generalized last less than a minute. with sphincter relaxation, at which her friend by name Winter Donovan proceeds to dial 911. They dialed 911 like with the sphincter relaxation already. Proceeds to call 911 to request an ambulance. At the patient presents, they make breathing difficult, decrease of the pulse, and give him ventilations of rescue at 1649. Makes mention. Again, I'm just scrolling through here just to say I might actually do a different video completely on the unofficial police report once I make it more clear. Unless someone in here speaks Spanish and they can actually read the Espanol, which is clear. But yeah, and there's no mention of a maid. So where is the maid stuff coming from? Where is it coming from? It's just hearsay. It's here. You cannot go by hearsay. We didn't meet the official statement from the maid. So I'm gonna go ahead and it's more work, to be honest, to translate this without actually using a converter. That means I would have to do way more work. Wait, let's see. But there's no, even with that, I already read like through it, and there's no mention of a maid. I don't see anything about a maid statement. So that's why I said it's just hearsay. Hearsay. Stop all these ads popping up. Okay, make sure y'all hitting the like button to get the video into the algorithm. I need more people to know, understand that this is a doctor. I already showed you how to look it up. It's a doctor, not a nurse. Now, here is the Charlotte Observer. Doctor tried to revive Shanquella Robinson before her death. Police report excerpt shows. Now, they got their information from the unofficial police report that I have. I have the full unofficial police report that I just showed you and scrolled through. Okay. That's how I was able to find all the people involved. So I say I appreciate him posting that because that's how I was able to find the names of everybody. Without having the names of everybody, I wouldn't be able to obviously search for those people, right? However, the hearsay of the maid, there was no official document. So that's something that shouldn't be, that's misinformation on that part. I could be right, but we don't have proof. We don't have proof of it. And until I actually see the official maid description of how she described Shanquella, then I cannot go by that. Genuine Woman says, thanks for all your hard work. I appreciate everything you do. Hashtag Justice for Shanquella Robinson. Yes, thank you, Genuine Woman. Thank you so much for the super sticker. I greatly do appreciate it. Thanks so much. And everybody else, the way you can support the channel for free is just by hitting the like button. Okay, so now I am going to read this article, and then I'm going to search through the police report to actually see more information on how they describe Shanquella's condition. And basically what I've been doing is I've been observing how people describe Shanquella's condition, and then I'm trying to match it up with her cause of death, which was Atlas luxation. So did the doctor describe someone that could be exhibiting signs of Atlas luxation based on her description? That's my question now. I'm going to actually go over the doctor's statement from the police report and see if her description of Shanquella matches someone with Atlas luxation instead of what she's trying to treat, which is alcohol poisoning. Okay, it says previous story. Information from a police report says Shanquella Robinson was alive when medical help first arrived at the vacation home where she was staying with a group of people last month in Cabo, Mexico. The report differs from details previously reported from 25-year-old Robinson's death certificate that had said she died within 15 minutes of being injured. Instead, a police report excerpt shows a doctor from a local hospital was with Robinson and others in the house for close to 3 hours before she was pronounced dead. And I actually have a video of someone that actually survived internal decapitation. And in fact, there's a lot of people that actually survive internal decapitation, and some actually still are able to move their body and everything else. They're not instantly paralyzed. So there's different results or endings or possibilities for when someone has atlas luxation and what happens, like internal decapitation. You can actually search YouTube for internal decapitation and survival or survive, and you actually see stories of people that actually survive this condition. So 15 minutes is just an estimate. That's why I said that. And even in those stories, you'll hear people, the doctors say, "Oh my God, they should be paralyzed, or they should be nonverbal. They shouldn't be able to speak." But then the person is speaking, they're verbal, they're able to move, and they're like, "Oh my God, this is like weird," right? So not everyone dies with that condition. It says a Charlotte Observer obtained excerpts from a police report earlier this week that had not yet been publicly released. The information was provided to the Observer by Gerardo Zuniga, an investigative reporter who works in Los Cabos for Metro Polymix, and details were first reported by Metro Polymix on Monday. Robinson is a Charlotte native who traveled to Cabo on October 28th. She died a day later. And the reason I say that I go by the unofficial police report is because so far everybody that's named in it are checked out. So if everybody in the police report is actually real people and actually they are working at the places that stated and everything else, there's a case number and file number information posted. Now to actually pay attention to the case number and file number, I'm actually going to try to look up that information to see if there's anything I can find. Okay, it says notably, the police information reported by and provided from Metropolitan Mix does not mention obvious signs of Robinson's physical injuries, which family members have said existed on her body prior to her burial. Grave injuries to her back and neck were determined to be the cause of death after an autopsy by officials in Mexico. The police report says she also suffered cardiac arrest. Since her death, the FBI and Mexican police authorities have launched investigations into how she died. The lack of conclusive evidence on conflicting explanations has led to her story going viral and invoking global outcry of countless people closely following Robinson's death. The hashtag Justice for Shanquella has been trending on Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok. It says the Charlotte Observer at that time had not unable to reach those on the trip. Most likely they haven't been talking, obviously, besides Nigeria. Zuniga told the Observer he obtained the internal law enforcement report through a source. Robinson's family did not return multiple calls and messages. Now, it's possible that his source had told him some information about what the maid said or some statements. However, he didn't actually post like the official exact statement from any documentation or police report or anything to actually confirm is the exact words. And what I mean is we need the exact words that were stated in order to actually match everything up. Because he speaks Espanol, he speaks Spanish. So how he translates something, it could be something totally different how we would understand or take it. That's why it's best to go exact wording. Okay, Shanquella Robinson police report. It says the information from the police report shows that at 2:13 p.m. on October 29th, medical help was summoned to Villa Linda 32, a property run by Company Cabo Villas located in San Jose del Cabo. Around an hour later, Dr. Karolina Beatriz Ornelas Gutierrez of the American Medical Center, a local hospital, arrived to treat Robinson. According to report excerpts, house calls to vacation rentals for routine non-emergency medical services are common in tourist hubs in Mexico. The Observer confirmed with American Medical Center on Monday that Gutierrez is employed there, and that is true. I also confirmed that. The hospital did not respond to requests for the medical and autopsy reports. It is unclear in the police report expert who called for medical help, but the reporting person is listed as Winter Donovan of Greensboro. Donovan is one of the 6 people identified by family, friends, and media sources as the person Robinson was traveling with. Donovan could not be reached to comment, and her phone number listed on the police report excerpt had been disconnected. The police report excerpt is in Spanish, and that's what I told you. The one I'm showing you, I'll scroll down it one more time just in case anyone wants to translate it themselves. The police report excerpt is in Spanish. According to a Charlotte Observer staff translation of the document, Dr. Gutierrez says she was told Robinson had drunk a lot of alcohol, and the medical call was for Robinson to be given an IV. So she was called and told that it was alcohol poisoning and that they wanted her to like bring out an IV. And most likely they were referred by the concierge. The police record indicates Gutierrez found a female understood in the report to be Robinson with stable vital signs but dehydrated, unable to communicate verbally, and appearing to be inebriated. So she was appearing to be inebriated. And keep in mind the signs of outlet luxation. She said with stable vital signs but dehydrated, unable to communicate verbally. So remember, Nazir said that she was trying to get words out, but she couldn't. And then outlet luxation, according to the medical examiner, said that you can hear and see, but you cannot speak. You cannot speak, right? So now it's that's the medical examiner state that, and then there's unable to communicate through the doctor's description and Nazir. Oh, this is loud. Nazir's description. So, and also there is an issue when people have like breathing as well. That's part of the outlet luxation. Not inebriated. That's another thing. Okay. It says the doctor reported that she believed Robinson needed to be transferred to a hospital, but her friends insisted that she be treated in the villa. Dr. Gutierrez attempted an IV, but was unsuccessful. According to the report excerpt, it's unclear what medication was in the IV. And most likely, to be honest, it might be something that she thought would be helpful for alcohol poisoning. To me, like if you get there and her eyes are open, like, and then she's not able to talk, then that would get, to me, that's give a different, that would obviously say that this is something else going on right here. Unable to communicate verbally. See, this is the thing. If someone is unable to communicate verbally, this is how I knew that her eyes had to be open, or she had to be doing something, because if she was actually, her eyes were closed and she was like appeared to be like unconscious or not, like even people said deceased or whatever else, you wouldn't expect someone, their eyes closed, you wouldn't expect someone that appears to be asleep or resting or their eyes closed to talk, because obviously they're closed, eyes closed. Now it does make sense what Nazir said, that she was unable to get words out, and then right here it says unable to communicate verbally. So in my opinion, Shanquella was still doing the same thing as she was with Nazir, trying to talk. Like she was trying to talk, like trying to get words out. But it says unable to communicate verbally. So to me, I think she was still trying to do the same thing with Nazir to the doctor, trying to talk. Because why would they say unable to communicate verbally? That means that she was trying to communicate verbally. To me, it means that. But someone can say unable to communicate verbally, like saying she's deceased, so it doesn't really make sense to the whole deceased argument. To me, this is someone that they can see that has life to her, that she's still breathing, she still has a pulse, maybe even looking around still, but then she can't talk. So that goes to me with outlet luxation. The doctor reported that she believed Robinson needed to be transferred to a hospital. I already read that. The information from police says the doctor was there for close to an hour when Robinson began having a seizure. The convulsions from the seizure lasted less than a minute, according to the report. At this point, the patient's friend named Winter Donovan called 911 to request an ambulance. According to the Observer Spanish to English translation of the report, this was around 4:20 p.m. In the meantime, the patient presented with difficulty breathing and a lowered pulse, and they gave her rescue breaths. The doctor, along with their friend, began administering CPR at 4:49 p.m. when guitarist Detective Robinson had stopped having a pulse. Police arrived and talked to the doctor, who was treating Robinson at 5:25 p.m. It is not clear from the information in the police report exactly what time an ambulance arrived from the 911 call. But if Nazir was helping with the breathing at first, or CPR, that means the paramedics had not arrived yet to actually assist. So then she had Nazir help her until probably the paramedics came. The report information indicates paramedics administered a total of 14 rounds of CPR, 5 doses of adrenaline, and 6 discharges AED shocks without success. Unable to revive Robinson, guitarist declared her dead at 5:57 p.m., according to the report excerpt. The police report information lists deceased person cardiopulmonary arrest as a reason police were called. Now, see, that's their summary. That's their summary of the police report. Let's see here. I don't know if a news article actually has the complete document without actually a summary, right? So let me show you the complete document. Where is it? Right here. Okay. I'm going to scroll through, and then I'm going to actually do a different live on the unofficial police report without actually looking at this. What time is it? Okay, so I'm going to scroll through just in case anyone wants to read it or whatever. I'm going to scroll through both versions, and then I'll actually do a different live about the unofficial police report. There might be some change. I don't know if exactly the same or not based on the Charlotte Observer. It could be other stuff in there. I don't know. But my whole point for this live is to say that there's no mention of a maid. Even no matter who reported on this, nobody actually mentioned any maid because there's no maid in this report. A maid statement was taken and a chef statement was taken by the police, but it has not been released. So we do not have it. There's nothing to base it off of. Okay, here is the case information and file number for this incident. And right here, the first page is actually going over like the people at the scene are involved or are called out. Ticket number, case number. The SUNY Popoca Milan, the Karolina, the Red Cross, which is Mobby, but there was also her partner, first responders. This is pretty. The Charlotte Observer basically just gave a summary of what was told. With poor verbal response in a state of drunkenness with vital signs stable. And right here it says, see, the translated version says poor verbal response. You see what I'm saying? Shanquella was trying to talk. It says poor verbal response. And then the Charlotte Observer translated it to unable to communicate. But on the report, it says poor verbal response. So she was trying to talk. Just like Nazir said that she couldn't get words out. She was trying to talk. So to me, I think that she saw Nazir and the doctor as people she was trying to talk to tell things, but she couldn't talk. Now, there is people that actually, if she had got surgery, right? If she had gotten surgery, there is a chance that they could have, that later on she would be able to talk. Like if she had got surgery, they could have, not everybody. Some people stay like nonverbal for like the whole duration, but some people actually, if she had got surgery, she probably could have actually, over time, been able to talk. But this time, with the injury still in effect and not untreated, she couldn't communicate verbally. But yeah, so she was trying to talk, y'all. It's find a person of the opposite sex woman who was with poor verbal response in a state of drunkenness with vital signs stable. And drunkenness is talking about obviously just what the Cabo said. And dehydrated, I don't know about that, but I do know that if she um when was the last time she actually had anything to drink or eat? Like the night before? We don't know. And that could just be the doctor saying, well, she appeared to be this and that. The doctor was just going off just what that. Her job as a medical professional should have been there to go there and do her own assessment, not just go by what unprofessionals say, right? Well, we already went over this information already a million times. But yeah, I'm just paying attention to the description. It says poor verbal response. So how can you know if someone has poor verbal response unless they're trying to talk? So this is all going into Atlas luxation that she could not speak. She was attempting to. And then Nazir says she can't get any words out. The doctor says poor verbal response. But why does it say like sphincter relaxation, then a call 911? That's kind of late. Like Winter should have been called 911. She was, to me, that's just like someone you're hoping that she dies. Y'all don't want her to be able to communicate and tell what happened. Y'all want her to die. That's why you hold off or you healed off. And it's not about money either, because 911 is free. It's free. I don't know if it's free, but you don't have to pay up front. It's just like 911 here. They're gonna pick you up and they're gonna take you to the hospital. They're gonna treat you and then they'll work on payment. So in Mexico, it's the same way. You call 911, they pick you up and then they'll work out payments afterwards. All right, if there's even payments, I don't know, because it's 911 in Mexico. It's like through the when you call 911 Mexico, you get the Mexican Red Cross. So she could have been called 911. In fact, instead of even calling the concierge, they could have been called 911 already. I'm gonna ask the concierge is are they giving information? Well, it might have changed now. Are they giving any like were they giving information on 911 and other documents like when they arrived? Right? I don't know. I'm sure they probably say if you have emergency, dial 911. I'm sure that's probably told to guests. I don't know. But even if it were not, when they called the concierge, if they told the truth, then they would have been referred. So once like the breathing decreased and like the pulse, then they gave ventilations, a rescue. Okay. It's pretty much like some of the same information, but some things were summarized by the news. So then again, you have to just make sure that you actually get the exact wording used in the document. Okay, so I'm going to go to, this is the Espanol version that I'm scrolling through now. It can be translated. You can translate it yourself until I come back later. Not today. I don't know when. To me, it's pretty much the same thing as already been reported, but other news just summarize it to avoid, like, I guess, I don't know. I wouldn't say plagiarism because it's just a police report. Yeah, it's pretty much the same information. But yeah, now I'm seeing now looking back at this, revisiting it, it seems to me that she was actually trying to talk, get words out to the Nazir, and she was also trying to talk to the doctor. So to me, I think that she was really just trying, before she passed away, she was actually trying to speak and talk and get words out. She was trying to get words out, but could not. Okay. And this is a new doctor. Also, who the lawyer they call is also a new lawyer they call from the public ministry to get the next steps of what to do. He's also new. Him, right? He's new. A new lawyer. Okay, so that's about it for today. Go ahead and make sure y'all have a great Monday and hit the like button on your way out. I think, did I say thank you, Arissa, for the super sticker? I appreciate it. Thanks so much for supporting the channel, and everybody else, you can support the channel for free again, like I said, just by hitting the like button. Yes, Auntie, yes. I appreciate the love this morning, and I hope I explained everything. And also, I told you how to look up information on doctors and who's a licensed doctor in Mexico and who's not a licensed doctor. Also, that there's no official statement from the Maid that hasn't released yet. So what I try to do is actually base my thoughts and my opinions off of what actually is official, or what has been already put out. That's not hearsay. Good morning, Dani, mods, and chat. We're going to catch replay. All have a blessed day. You have a great day as well. Ornelas. That's a painful way to go. Yes, it is. What is your question? I really don't have time to go over all comments today. I'm going to set up a different live to where I'll be able to go over comments. Right now, I don't have time to go read every comment. Okay, again, I'm posting the link again. I'm going to make sure I leave the chat up so that link will always be available. Good morning, Shell. Dani, you are so appreciated for your research. Okay, and who else was here? I think I said that. Okay, it's not just about her eyes being open. It's about her trying to communicate. And people are saying that she couldn't get words out. She had poor communication. Poor communication. So to me, she's trying to talk. So someone deceased cannot try to talk to you. Someone describing her, I can't get words out, or poor communication skills. How can someone know if you have poor communication skills or poor communication if you're not trying to communicate? Dani, I wish I can help you reading the report, but I don't have a strong Wi-Fi or hotspot today. My sister's at work with her cell phone. That's okay. I'm actually I'll translate it, but to me, I'm just scrolling through. Even with that, I already have it translated already here, but some of the words are kind of blurred or edgy. But overall, there's no mention of a Maid in the official police report. And that's what I'm trying to say. There's no Maid statement that has been released. That was all hearsay. It was hearsay. So everything that was said about a Maid and stuff happening that early, 7 to 8 in the morning, none of that has been released. Any of that information has been released. Moving a person incorrectly who has an internal decapitation, wouldn't that cause them to expire soon? That can actually worsen the condition. Yeah, it can worsen the condition and cause it. It's best when it happens to not move the person. Let a professional move the person. I can actually play. Let a professional move the person, and then the person needs surgery as soon as possible to have a better chance of survival and in good condition, right? Hey, Janae. Hey, everyone. I can tell I'm hella late. I'll catch a replay. Have a great day. Have a great day as well. Good morning. They wait a mod. Hey, K-Sam Card. They waited a mighty long time to call for emergency help. Yep, they did. Is it someone's birthday? Yeah, I know. I know it says congratulations. Oh, the congratulations, happy birthday. Oh. Well, let me go ahead and do I actually have it with me? It's in another video. Watch my video on Julio. Okay, watch my video on Julio. If you watch my video on Julio, he had just recently graduated. Like he had some kind of recent graduation too. I don't have that with me, but he had some kind of recent graduation. So that's why I assumed that it was congratulating him on that because he had some kind of recent graduation. But I have, if you actually go watch my video on Julio, you'll see his face. The same guy right here that's put up right here. That's him. Okay, so watch my video on him and then you'll get more information on him. But thank you for clarifying that, Dukes. But yeah, I try to, if you can't find something, a video, just try to pay attention to the thumbnail. I try to put the person in the thumbnail who I'm talking about or who is going to at least be mentioned. And right now, at this point, there's a lot of videos, to be honest. So there's a lot of videos, then it's best to just watch the videos in the playlist because something, most likely I have already covered something. Like I've already covered that this is a real doctor like quite a few times, but now I'm just making a separate video just to talk about that with a different title. That way you don't have to watch a long video just to find this information. Okay. I guess I might have time to show this. I don't know. So internal decapitation. Can someone actually survive with that? Yes.
At just 16, he battled cancer and won, but he had no idea how difficult his next challenge would be. Watch this.
I was having bad headaches and then realized my vision was going in and out.
In October 2012, 16-year-old Brock Meister's symptoms landed him in the ER at Beacon Memorial Hospital of South Bend, Indiana.
I was just scared because I had no clue what it was.
An MRI image showed a mass. Tests confirmed it was cancer, a germinoma in the center of his brain.
Your brain tumor, and you think the worst.
Brock was determined to survive and endured 4 cycles of chemotherapy, followed by proton radiation.
It was just crazy trying to do schoolwork, trying to go through treatments too. It was just hard.
Once treatment was over, I noticed a lot of good changes for Brock.
Life was back to normal for the Meiser family until January 2018, when Brock was in a car accident with his cousin.
They hit ice, and the truck, I believe, went sideways, hit a bank. His whole body kind of went out the window.
Yeah, I remember closing my eyes and just saying, my neck hurts, my neck hurts.
Doctors told Brock's parents that he suffered an internal decapitation. His skull had separated from his spine.
He told us all the things that could come along with that. Paralysis, not being able to swallow, to talk. So there was a lot at stake.
Brock's only...
Okay, so as you can see, the how she described what the doctor told what his conditions would be. If he survived, he wouldn't be able to talk or even properly swallow and things like that, right? And he has internal decapitation, but he actually survives this condition. So he had surgery and he survived. So again, not everyone dies or has the same results. Just because the typical standards, people will die within a certain time, before they even get transferred to the hospital. That's why they put estimated time 15 minutes. However, there is survival chances, and there are some people that survive and they're paralyzed. There's some people that survive and they actually regain control of their body. They are never paralyzed because they get. It depends on your emergency help and what immediately happens after. And also just it's based on the individual. So anyways, we cannot always say that someone dies within 15 minutes. It's not always the case.
only hope was Brock's only hope was a risky surgery.
There was a lot at stake.
Brock's only hope was a risky surgery.
The outcome's not very good. You're either paralyzed or you don't live through the surgery. Brock is like one of 5% that survives the accident.
Wow. Brock's mom, Jenna, is here with us, and so is Brock, who's going to come on out. Welcome to both of you. Amazing. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
It's an incredible story. So when you have the accident, all you felt was my neck hurts?
Yeah, hurt really bad.
So you didn't know it was like a catastrophic injury?
Yeah, no, I just thought I just sprained my neck or something.
Mm-hmm. And who was with you?
My cousin.
So your cousin somehow has the presence of mind. Or how old is your cousin?
21.
Has the presence of mind to not move you. I mean, like, he knew that could be catastrophic too.
Yeah.
So you wind up meeting him at the hospital. You get
Okay, you heard that his cousin did not move him, and he said that what he felt was like extreme, like he painful neck. So he had a painful neck, like he was like really hurt, and his cousin didn't move him. So that was a good thing.
the call no parent wants to get, right, Jenna?
We were actually able to arrive on scene.
Oh my goodness. And what was that like?
It was difficult to see Brock like that, but he was talking. He was
Welcome to both of you.
able to arrive on scene.
Oh my goodness. And what was that like?
It was difficult to see Brock like that, but he was talking. He was moving all of his extremities. So I knew he was injured, but at that point we didn't know the extent.
I mean, had you ever heard the term internal decapitation before this?
No,
Right.
not somebody that survives it.
So because the doctors say this actually, it kills a fair amount of people who are in car accidents. And so that the odds were very low that he would survive that kind of an injury.
Correct. And if he did survive, they told us it was very possible that he would be paralyzed.
So what did the doctors tell you were your options as you're looking at him in the hospital?
For any chance of life, they needed to stabilize his neck. So that would require surgery.
And what did they say were the chances during the surgery?
We were told that it was quite possible that they could paralyze him from the actual surgery. We were told that he could have a stroke. So there was a lot at stake.
Were they surprised he wasn't already paralyzed?
Yeah, we had quite a few physicians, wondering exactly what had happened because he was talking, he was moving all of his extremities.
Okay, so this is like a rare case because, as you can see, they said that the doctor was actually shocked. They were shocked that he wasn't already paralyzed already because of his injury, and they were shocked that he was actually able to talk. So that's why they said they were shocked about his current condition, and it was like, oh, wow, this is like an exception. Linda says they survived, they get immediate care. Shanquella didn't get immediate care. She was moved and dressed and moved again. Here's the thing. The whole point of me saying this is that he didn't obviously, you think that he actually got sent to the hospital and then immediately got sent to the hospital and arrived there and then immediately was put into surgery. They had to examine him and everything else. Okay. So he survived also longer than 15 minutes. My point is that 15 minutes is not set in stone. Even if someone is transported to the hospital or even moved around, they can still survive longer than that. 15 minutes, and they can actually survive. So it's not set in stone is my point. And people are acting like once you have atlas luxation, you are going to die. It's like you're going to die. And you're gonna die in 15 minutes. That's not the case. She could actually have survived, and she did survive. If the attack occurred in the morning, which I believe it did, she still survived that whole day up until the doctor came, and then the doctor tried those CPRs and everything else on her. So she was alive when Nazir got there, and she was alive when the doctor got there, and then she passed away. So she did survive for hours, and then she passed away from it. That's my whole point. I'm clearing up the confusion for some people out there who think that when you have internal decapitation that you're automatically going to die in 15 minutes. There's no, you can't last longer than that. You can't survive longer. There's nothing. You're just going to die. That's not the case. Yeah, catch the replay. Good morning. Good morning, Serena. Some things I'm not going to address because I've already addressed in my last video. I've addressed it already.
And now, I mean, you just walked right out here. Mm-hmm. The car accident was in January?
January 12th.
Of 18.
Yep.
And look at him now. Okay, but that is not all. That's not all, because Brock, as you might imagine, was given certain restrictions about what he could and could not do during his recovery. But life would throw the family another curveball, and boy, oh boy, did Brock hit it. Wait until you hear what he did when we come back. And we're back now with Brock Meister and his mother, Jenna. We've been hearing how Brock beat the odds to survive a severe neck injury, which left him internally decapitated. And we'll get to the story in a minute of what he wound up doing. But his doctor is here as well. His doctor, who is Dr. Kashef Sheikh. Dr. Sheikh, thank you for being here. So you're in the hospital when Brock gets brought in. And when you first saw the CT scan of what had happened to him, what did you think?
Oh, I thought I had pulled up the wrong patient or something. There was no way that what they were describing to me, somebody moving their hands, moving their feet, talking, had that kind of a CT scan that showed his head essentially separated and displaced from his neck.
So he also, once he got, they called for help, emergency help. He got transferred. He had to go, obviously, get transferred to the hospital. Also, he had to have a CT scan, So this obviously takes time. So again, someone can survive longer than the 15-minute time period. That's what I'm trying to say. But with surgery, the person can also live. They can still survive and live to an older age. And some people can get regain, like they can start communicating. Some people are paralyzed. It's different conditions that you wind up with once you survive. So we don't know if Shanquella was already still trying to still talk and speak. Chances are, if she had surgery, she might have still been able to speak. However, more than likely, she wouldn't have been able to move. She was probably going to be paralyzed, but she would still be able to talk and understand what's going on. Kind of like Christopher Reeve's condition, where he can still talk and move his head and everything, but he wasn't able to. His neck and down would be paralyzed like that. But I don't know, because they keep saying that most people won't be able to talk with this. So we don't know what would have happened.
How can that be? How can it be that he is alive and well and sitting here notwithstanding that?
Oh, I think the surgery gets a lot of credit in some of the news things, but really the thing that saved him is the people that have this injury. Most of them die in the car. They die in transport because, when he suffers the injury, he's sitting there, head separated from his neck, and things like his airway, his spinal cord, all his blood vessels, they're all at risk. And the people that, like you said, had the presence of mind not to move him initially out of the car, because that would be the emotional response if your loved one is, sitting there. And the EMS that arrived, that got him to the hospital, the people in the ER, the people in the ICU, everybody that facilitated getting him into surgery, I think, are the people that, really saved him and allowed for him to walk on this stage.
You had a big part in it as well. You never know why God
Now, his case is rare because he came in there and he was still able to talk, and he was still able to move his body around. Shanquella wasn't able to talk, and she wasn't able to move her body when she got her injury, right? And yeah, and there's go ahead and watch others. There's other videos as well. There's different people experience different things with outlet luxation. There's actually some people, I need to find the video, but one person that actually had the condition and they actually didn't even know they had it, and they were actually just walking around. They didn't even know that they had it. Like, they didn't know that they had this severe condition. They were actually walking around and like normal, right? But then they went into the hospital, right? So there's different things that can happen to someone when they have this outlet luxation. But no matter what, they all need to have surgery as soon as possible to correct the condition. But there's no way that he should be able to talk or even move his body with that condition, but he was able to. So there's no set pattern or set what will actually happen. So when Shanquella had hers, it's possible that she was still alive. It's not even saying that it's possible. She was still alive when Nazir got there. She was still alive when the doctor got there. She was trying to talk. She was paralyzed and she could look around, but she couldn't talk. So yeah, she had outlet luxation. She did have this, what everyone is describing. But of course, some people believe that, of course, that she was deceased. I am not of that belief. Some people do. Some people believe that when Nazir got there, she was already deceased, and he was carrying around a dead body, moving around a dead body. He was rubbing the head of a dead body, all this. And then when the doctor got there, that she did a bunch of surgery, like not surgery. She tried to put an IV in a dead person. She tried to give CPR to someone that was already deceased. It's a lot to me to believe that someone's deceased, and people keep on doing all the stuff with the deceased person. And these people already know how to do CPR and check for pulse and breathing. So no one's going to do all the stuff and not be able to know. Anybody in their right mind can see if someone's chest rising up and down to see if they're actually breathing or check a pulse. Even there are children that realize that their parents are not moving and they're no longer here, and they call 911 for help. So yeah. But everyone has their different beliefs, what they believe in. Okay, so anyways, what you can do is actually look on YouTube at different videos about internal decapitation, educate yourself on this condition, educate yourself on the different ways people are taken to the hospital, or some people that do not even go to the hospital after a long time because they don't even know. They take a while to go to the hospital and they still are not deceased because they are internally decapitated. They just think they might have neck pain or something else, and they're like, they don't know what's going on, but then they go there and they realize, oh my gosh, I might have internal decapitation. So it varies by person to person what you'll experience. Some people are instantly paralyzed, and some people actually are not paralyzed. So we cannot say. But what we can say is that based on Nazir, he said she was trying to talk, but she couldn't get words out. The doctor said she had poor communication skills, so she wasn't able to talk. Yeah. So if someone is trying to talk to Nazir and also the doctor, that means the person is obviously what? Alive, but unresponsive. Good morning, PM. All right, y'all, hit the like button on your way out, and I will see y'all in the next live. Bye. Okay, I think Linda said my husband died with his eyes open. I closed him. It's not about eyes open, Linda. It's about looking around. I said, was she looking around? That's my question. So someone can die with their eyes open, but the person is going to be looking around. And to be honest, that's actually even more noticeable. If Shanquella had her eyes open and her eyes are just stuck in one position, that could obviously tell, anybody can tell then, oh my gosh, this person, something is wrong. Like imagine someone's eyes open and they never blink. So I mean, like you said, you had to close your husband's eyes. Think about it. Like if someone's eyes are open and they never blink, that would actually be a Nazir, and even anyone would be able to see, oh my gosh, her eyes are her eyes are open, but it's not moving around or looking around, and it's just stuck in that spot. And they're telling her eyes would be when she's deceased, right? And then that's obviously something is wrong, because no one that stays like that and then never blinks or move their eyes. That's obviously a sign that someone will be like, oh, this person is deceased, right? So that's why I specifically said that, where's her eye? Was she looking around? And then he said yes. And she was like, sure. Yeah, he said yes. And he also was saying that she was trying to get words out. Okay. Just have a great day. And thanks, Dukes, for modding for me. Bye.